G'day everyone and welcome to Retrospect Reviews. I'm Vince and it's the first week in April. Now that normally means we go back and have a look at everything I picked up over the month of March, but due to world events I haven't been able to pick any new gaming stuff up. So I thought in this video I would look back at a video I did about 2 years ago called 10 games I'm hunting for to put into my collection. So let's check out and see how many of those games in the last 2 years I have picked up. Starting off, I thought we'd go back and I'll just read a list of the games that I was looking for, and then we'll look at what games of that list I did pick up. So the first game on the list is Search for the King. Now this is a graphic point and click adventure game. The next game I was looking for was Wild Cutting. Now that's a game for the Tandy Coco 3. I'm sure there was different versions for different machines out there, but basically you're running a oil drilling company and you're looking for oil, and you could play multiple players, and you had to budget your money and your resources while looking for oil so you didn't run out. Next game was It Came From the Desert. Now this is it's not really a point and click adventure game. I guess it's an action adventure game where it's got elements of graphic click and point adventure games, but it also has action scenes. So this is roughly based on the 1950s movie Them, and it's about giant ants. The next game was the classic SimCity. Now the reason I wanted that one is I never had the original, but I do have all the SimCities from then on, and the original SimCity was the only one I was missing. The next game was Prince of Persia, the original Prince of Persia. Now I didn't have the original box of that either, but it was one of my favorite games that I had on the Amiga 500, and I would love to get the original box for it and put it in my collection. Number 5 was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now again, another one I never had the original box for, but I was introduced to this game through a neighbour who had an IBM, and he was a huge Douglas Adams fan and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan, so he introduced me to the books and the game. I did have a pirated copy on the Commodore 64, but I would love to get an original. The next game is Kadash. Now Kadash, that is for the Mega Drive. I used to rent Kadash from the Mega Drive, but I used to originally play it at the local arcade. The next game is Alandra. Now, Landra I originally played on the PS1. It's another game that I only rented and never had a original copy, but I always did. But even in the back in the day, it was a hard game to find in its original case, I guess you'd put it, as a PS1. Number 2 was the original Monkey Island, another graphics point and click adventure. Now, I did have this originally for the Amiga 500, but when I got rid of my Amiga 500 to buy an IBM, an Acer 486, I sold most of the games off with it. And finally, the very last game was Dallas Quest. Now, I had the original Dallas Quest for my Tandy Coco 3. Now, this is a game, it's technically a graphic adventure game, but this one it had graphics, but you had to type in your directions in the text bar, so it wasn't a point and click. That was the original list of 10 games I was hunting for back in March, 9th of March 2018. So the first game, we'll do it in order of the listing that I just read out. So I did end up finding a copy of Search for the King. Now I got this. This is exactly the exact same box and everything that I had back in the day that I sold off with the Amiga 500, and everything's there, so I was quite happy to put that back in the collection. Now, mine I brought from I didn't buy from an actual retail store. There was a big computer conference back in the day where there were sellers from all over Australia, and I picked up a copy there along with a few other adventure games, Gold Rush and so forth. But yeah, so I did. So that's one ticked off the 10 games I want to put in my collection. So we'll just set that there. So following on, the next game I picked up off the list was the original SimCity. Now, I got this off eBay at a really good price. It's in pretty good condition. Now, I've tried several times to get a copy of SimCity, but I always got outbidded. For some reason, this kind of flew by everyone on eBay, so I only had one bid and won it. So I was quite pleased with that. And to make it extra special, I wanted the one with the Godzilla knockoff on it. And believe it or not, I got it. All the other ones I had bidded on and lost out to insane prices only had the Twister on it, or the Cyclone, or one of the other things on the front. But I wanted the one with the Godzilla, because the Godzilla one was actually taken off production because the copyright owners of the Godzilla movies in Japan actually requested that that was a copyright infringement, and they had to change the packaging. So I was glad I got an original copy of SimCity, plus I got the one with Godzilla on the front. So I got that. So the next game I was after, now this is a bit of a cheat because this technically isn't an original. It was Kadash. Like I said, always wanted this. I used to play this in the arcade, and then when I got my original Mega Drive, I used to rent it from the video store. Never got a chance to buy it. I've been searching for it for a long time. Still haven't come across it. But I did buy a reproduction version. I made a video on it. I'll link that in the description down below. So it's pretty much all there. It's got the manual and it's got the cartridge and it works fine. Haven't had any issues with it. Though if I did find an original copy, you can believe it, this will be put away in storage as a backup maybe, but I'm probably still look out for the original copy. But yeah, so I've technically got Kadash back in the collection, or put it in the collection. And the next game I got was The Adventures of Alandra. Now, I got this from a mate of mine who gave me a huge amount of gaming stuff that he no longer had room for. And yeah, I didn't realise he actually went out and brought this game after I recommended it to him. And I was quite pleased to find it in the stack of PS1 games that he gave me. So I have now got Alandra back. There is a sequel to this that I might keep an eye out. It's not as expensive as this. I have seen this on eBay. I think people are asking, at the time, it was about $50 or up. So I've kind of been hesitated getting it. But now that my mate has generously given it to me to put in the collection, I am stoked. So it's one of my all-time favourites to get back in the collection. And the next game that I got to put back into my collection is another game that's I found very difficult to find. This is the only second time I've seen it come up on eBay, and both times were from overseas sellers. So it cost a little bit more than I was comfortable paying, but you know, in the 20 years or so that I've been looking for this game to put back in my collection, this is the only time I've seen it come up twice, and both were for the Commodore 64. The original copy I had was for my Tandy Coco 3, and that is Dallas Quest, or The Dallas Quest. So it's based on the TV show Dallas back in the 80s. I do believe they did a remake or a new version of it, continuing on from the original Dallas. So it's a text graphic adventure game, if that is the correct term. So it has graphics, but it's only still pictures, and pretty much everything else you got to do via text box. But it's a game I've been wanting to get again ever since I sold off my Tandy Coco 3 back in the late 80s, early 90s to buy an Amiga 500. So yeah, I was quite pleased to put that back in the collection, and it is in really good condition, so I'm happy about that. So that was 5 out of 10 games that I was able to put back in the collection in the last 2 years. Now, I have seen some of the other 5 on eBay, but some prices are a little too high and a little too uncomfortable for me to actually bid on. So the 5 games I wasn't able to get is Wild Cutting, It Came from the Desert, Prince of Persia, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Monkey Island. Now, Monkey Island I have seen go for insane prices. If you want the original box like I used to have, some people are asking like $500 Australian. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is sitting at around $100 last time I saw, if you want everything that came with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Prince of Persia, I'm not sure on. I haven't really seen an original box of that come up yet. Most of the ones I've seen for that are for the Master System and a few other systems, but I want the original box for the Amiga or the IBM. It Came from the Desert. Now, I think I've seen that once in the last couple of years come up on eBay, but once again, I was outbidded. And wild cutting I have never seen come up on eBay or anywhere at this time. So that is the 10 games I'm still hunting for. Now down to the 5 games I'm still hunting for. In the comments down below, let me know if you think I did pretty good getting 5 out of the 10 games I've been looking for over the last 2 years. And let me know what game you're still looking for to put back into your collection. Don't forget to like and share this video, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I upload a new video every week. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to keep safe, keep a distance, and wash your hands. And I'll catch you next week. Bye. The next game is The Adventures of Audrey, and the next game is The Adventures of Audrey.